Die düstere Prophezeiung vom nahenden Ende der Chakri-Dynastie? Was die Zukunft bringt, steht in den Sternen. Die Gegenwart, das ist das Thailand Bhumipuls des Großen, ein wirtschaftlich stabiler und verlässlicher Partner für die Staaten der Welt. Selbst seine Kritiker zollen ihm dafür Respekt.
Egal, ob man seine Ansichten schätzt oder nicht oder seinen politischen Standpunkt, den ich für antidemokratisch halte, dieser König ist wahrscheinlich der erfolgreichste König des Planeten Erde. Warum? Weil das Volk geschlossen hinter ihm steht.
Ihre Liebe zum König ist echt und bedingungslos. Das sehen sie als Privileg. Für Außenstehende kaum zu verstehen.
Unter euch Ausländern gibt es Stimmen, die sagen, dass der König von Thailand niemals lächelt. Das stimmt nicht. Der König lächelt gerne. Und wenn er lächelt, dann ist es für uns Thais das schönste Lächeln der Welt.
Und so hoffen sie noch viele seiner Geburtstage zu feiern und rufen ihm zu: Lang lebe der König!
A charismatic leader swept to power by the people's will. To the world, Thailand is the latest country to experience a democratic awakening. But there is a darker story. A story of killing and cover-up.
And where were the bullets coming from? From up there.
Last year, scores of civilians were killed in bloody clashes in Bangkok, many shot by the army. But the military hasn't faced justice for its role. As they battle for the truth, the families of the victims say they're obstructed at every turn.
I am furious, defeated and angry altogether. Why? I feel sorry because I know who ordered the killing.
Tonight, some of the government's own investigators tell us they're being told to cover up army killings. Now, after her landslide election victory, the new leader promises to expose the truth. If she delivers, it'll be an historic first for Thailand. We journey into the murky world of power in Thailand and ask if those who've always killed with impunity will at last face justice. It is a haven of peace in the center of Bangkok. A Buddhist temple. But it's also a place of sorrow. For this mother, Payao Achahad has come to make an offering for the soul of a daughter killed here a year ago.
I don't want to come here. Because when I'm here, I really miss my daughter. This is the only place in Bangkok I don't want to be.
Nurse Kamon Ked was killed tending to the wounded in a medical tent when Thailand's army fired into this temple last May. 25-year-old Ked had always wanted to help the victims of disaster and joined the Red Cross as a volunteer nurse.
She had a volunteer spirit. I often stopped her going. The reason that I stopped trying to discourage her was after she came back from helping people at the tsunami. At that time, she went without telling me. And then when she came back, I told her off, and my daughter said to me, "Don't worry about me. I am part of this country."
For the last 12 months, Payao Achahad has battled to uncover the truth about what happened in this sacred place. But a year on, she's no nearer getting justice. On the other side of the world, another woman is caught up in the same struggle. On the day Nurse Ked was killed, a 45-year-old Italian photographer was recording the unfolding drama on Bangkok streets.
He was a young man that loves very much music, very friendly, very sportive. He loves very much women and a simple person.
Fabio Polenghi followed his sister Isa into photography. From Milan, his early work was in fashion. But he became bored and began working on social issues in the developing world. Last year, he was following a story of political upheaval, the anti-government red shirt protests in Bangkok. He'd been there for 3 months when his sister, asleep in her Milan apartment, was awoken by a telephone call.
Around 8, my phone started to ring. And a friend of mine, a very old friend of mine, just started shouting in my ear, "Fabio's been killed."
Isa flew immediately to Bangkok. She found Fabio in a hospital mortuary.
I could see Fabio laying down on this little bed. His face was far away from what I remember of him. You try to recognize him, but there is something that probably is that you realize the person is gone.
Isa knew Fabio had been shot dead on the final day of the red shirt protests, May 19, 2010. His friends showed her his blood at the scene of the killing. She watched as the council trucks washed it away. Back in Milan, Isa was haunted by questions. She was troubled by information given to the Italian ambassador by Thai authorities.
He told me that Fabio was working up and down through the front line and that snipers were shooting and probably a red shirt shoot him, a sniper.
For Isa, that judgment was too swift.
I said, well, if it's so clear, why we have evidence then? But there were no evidence, so it was a too fast conclusion.
As two women, one Thai, the other Italian, set out to try and discover the truth, they would confront a culture in which the powerful have never been held to account. But to understand how their loved ones came to die on the streets of Bangkok, we must travel to the roots of a political crisis that divided Thailand.
An ancient Thai inscription reads, "This land is good, in the water there is fish, in the fields there is rice. Whoever wants to trade, trades. The faces of the people shine bright with happiness." Thailand refers to itself as the land of smiles. The trouble with Thailand is the enormous gap between the very wealthy few and the peasant majority.
Here in the rural heartland, a charismatic politician started a social revolution.
During Thaksin Shinawatра's government, villagers could complain about their troubles. The government responded to these troubles very well. In his government, uneducated and lower class people could meet the Prime Minister. There were government authorities that helped people.
Thaksin Shinawatra was an ex-police colonel who became a billionaire. His vast business empire even included Manchester City Football Club. He won 2 elections, in the process becoming Thailand's longest-serving Prime Minister. Despite widespread allegations of corruption and of major human rights abuse, he remained hugely popular with the poor.
Every household had a better life, better living. They had money that belonged to them and which they could spend. The economy in the village improved.
It was out here in the countryside that Thaksin Shinawatra cultivated his power base, among people who felt they'd never before had a stake in society. He forged this coalition of outsiders along with people in the sprawling cities to create the most powerful mass political movement this country had ever seen. But it was a movement that would eventually face a bloody showdown on the streets of Bangkok. For Thaksin's power was a direct challenge to the elite who'd always dominated Thai life. The Democracy Monument in central Bangkok is a grandiose tribute to something Thais have only rarely experienced.
As the guns fire a salute to their majesties, the king uses the occasion to glorify the role of the soldier as defender of the nation's integrity.
In Thailand, real power has always lain with the monarchy and the army. They control a vast network of patronage. The 83-year-old king is widely revered. The army draws its legitimacy from acting as his defender.
The military and the monarchy dominated politics.
Who controls who? Is it the military controlling the monarchy, or is it the monarchy controlling the military?
When two sides believe that they use one another, we have an English word we call collaborations. Right? They collaborate. They use each other.
To protect its power, the army has ruthlessly crushed any threats. In the last 70 years, there have been 18 military coups and bloody crackdowns on political enemies.
The assault began just after daybreak. Then came moments of pure horror as the 2,000 leftist students, including many girls, began surrendering. The police did nothing to prevent several being beaten to death after arrest.
Not once have soldiers faced justice for their actions.
The Thai military seem indifferent to the reaction inside this country or outside of such repression.
The king has sometimes opposed such coups, but his interventions haven't altered the fundamental dynamic of Thai politics.
The history of Thailand is dotted with coups, short-lived military governments, sometimes long-lived military governments, because the military sees itself, and the monarchy sees the military, as the protector of the monarchy, not the protector of democracy.
But Thaksin's natural instincts would bring conflict with this elite.
I'm aggressive. I'm work fast. I want to drive to the success.